a nice day here in San Francisco. Here it's about 65 degrees. I'm talking about Jupiter, and Jupiter's about to turn retrograde on December 8th. So this is a big thing. Jupiter is, he's called Guru in Sanskrit. And this word, of course, evokes things like teachers, and the word also literally can mean the remover of darkness, the dispeller of darkness. It also can mean heavy, which is something that sinks deeper than the surface. And so what Jupiter really refers to, what Guru refers to, is those deep teachings, teachers, and, well, teachings and then the teachers that bring them, that give our life depth. Depth and also vision and purpose and direction. It's very easy to say things about Jupiter that are a bit overdone, actually, of all the planets, and it's in keeping with Jupiter's nature, I guess. There can be a tendency to distort and exaggerate things with Jupiter, and we tend, astrology students tend to say things like Jupiter is spirituality and expect that Jupiter just shows the good things. This is the principle of Jupiter, that it's what we think is good. It's the part of us that aspires to do what we think is right based on our teachings, but it can also be a problem. It can also be where our teachings and principles are out of alignment, either out of alignment with our deeper self or out of alignment with the actual truth, with actual Dharma. The issues of Jupiter have to do with what our principles are, what our sense of vision is, how we're aligned with it internally or not, and when he turns retrograde, which is fairly often, we reflect on those things. So we're meant to be reflecting on our teachings and our principles and our philosophy and our vision quite a lot. And so we all have a philosophy about sort of the meaning of life. And when people say, or when students tend to think that Jupiter is spiritual or spirituality, again, that's a mistake, because all of the planets are spiritual. They're all spirituality in one way or another. Jupiter is our beliefs, and those beliefs can be good or they can be bad. They can be taking us to truth or taking us away from them. Atheism is a belief. Nazism is a belief. White supremacy, they're also beliefs. They're not necessarily dharmic, though. So we have to understand that Jupiter is actually religion and what we believe. And when people say that they're spiritual, not religious, they're really religious, because everybody has a belief about something. And those beliefs give your life a focus, a trajectory, and they allow you to overcome the setbacks, because we all have to face setbacks, and when we do, we have some belief that comes forth. Well, but at least there's this. This didn't work out the way I wanted to, but at least, I've accepted Jesus as my Savior, or there's Shiva, or whatever. So those things are important when we talk about Jupiter. So when he goes retrograde, we reflect upon those things. He's going to turn retrograde in December, I should say December 8th, and he'll be retrograde until like April of 2015. Now this means that your recent philosophies and teachings and teachers or whatever may be a source of confusion. That doesn't mean you're going to leave them. That doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. It means we're meant to reflect and ponder the meaning of our life and what we believe in. I mean, think about 10 years ago what you believed in. What was the meaning and focus of your life? It might have been something that was driven by some sort of commercial gain, or the vision and point and trajectory of my life is to get married and have kids. It's a very Jupiter thing, by the way. Not a Venus thing. Venus is to fall in love and be happy. Jupiter is about have kids, have a trajectory, grow something. So that sense of meaning and purpose tends to change over time because we reflect and recalibrate, and then once we do, we start looking for a teacher who's going to teach us something that resonates internally. That's why they say the guru appears when the student is ready. It's not just a philosophy. The student goes looking for a teacher that's going to teach them what they want to learn. And when a person has a powerful Jupiter in their chart, natally, they actually look for good teachers. They recognize good teachings when they see them. When a person's Jupiter is messed up, they're prey to bad teachings. Because we're hearing the good teachings all the time, but we're not getting the message. And so, notice how your teachings and principles and philosophies are starting to kind of back up a little bit. Jupiter is stationed in the sky. He turns retrograde on December 8th, and then that could really begin a process of reevaluation, reassessment of your life focus, of those philosophies that are giving you a sense of purpose. And notice how teachers show up that confirm your vision of the world. As I say, when a person's vision of the world and when their vision of life and what it's supposed to be is good, they'll recognize a good teacher. It doesn't necessarily mean a swami sitting in a cave somewhere. It can just mean, and often means, the teacher that you need at the time, because we all grow in an incremental form. Like, you wouldn't have been able to understand, the teachings of a great yoga master when you were 15. You didn't need that teacher then. You needed to go through, you had to go through other teachings at the, to lead you to, the great, teachers that maybe you have now. So this is a process of learning where our philosophies and our teachers and the meaning of our life and the trajectory that it gives our life grows over time. So you're about to hit one of those periods where, based on where you are, you have an opportunity to go to the next level. So it might be confusing. Be careful and don't abuse your teachers. And I'm saying this to my students as well. Do not give me a hard time. It's time to reflect. And reflect doesn't mean, destroy something. But you might find yourself maybe rebelling a little bit, finding other teachers. But again, you want to understand this is a process of reflection, and on the other side of that, we often deepen our understanding, and we can get greater appreciation for the teachers that we have. And so it's a great time. Any retrograde cycle is also a great opportunity to reflect and introspect and listen, which is very key. It's a great opportunity for you to actually listen more deeply to the words of your teachers, rather than just acting externally very quickly without enough information. I'll tell you, as someone who teaches a lot of students, this is one of the things that I notice that students need to really do a little better at, and I include myself in that. We get this much information and think we have it all figured out already. Or the first time we hear it, we're ready to already start to debate it before we've even tried to put it into practice. So now's the time to do a lot of practicing, especially if you're doing a discipline. Introspect, reflect, and really let your teaching sink into your heart as well. And you'll find on the other side of that, things will be much deeper. So I talk about this Jupiter retrograde in my 2015 forecast because it's big. It lasts until early spring. So you want to make sure to come to that forecast that I'm doing. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. And I talk about 7 or 8 of the most important shifts from 2015.